All right, welcome in. Happy Wednesday, the return of the association and the NBA tip-off show here, powered by WagerTalk.com. Loaded slate here tonight, finally. It feels like a hot minute as we have finally come to almost the conclusion of the in-season tournament. We will have the semifinals tomorrow night, then, of course, the finals in Vegas over the weekend. So we are down to 4, as they say, but everybody else is back to work here tonight. So we've got plenty to break down for you here as we welcome in 3 of the best at Wager Talk when it comes to betting the NBA. As we welcome back Ski Profit in the house, the Pen, Ralph Michaels ready to roll, and of course, Mr. Rob Vino here, locked, loaded, gentlemen, here tonight on a full card. And we're going to start, of course, with our contrarian play of the day here. And the contrarian gods, intriguing spot here tonight, gentlemen. It appears everyone's running to the window to bet Toronto. 75% of the tickets, nearly 90% of the money. That leaves the Heat getting 4.5 points. Now, no Bam Adebayo, so I get why maybe some are running to the window to fade Miami here, but my goodness, it's an onslaught of tickets and money, Skee, which means the contrarian gods are saying, settle down. Still got Jimmy Buckets, still got the Miami Heat. 4.5. Are you willing to take it here tonight?
I probably was looking crazy. My thing just cut out, and I just came back on at the right time. But this makes sense for it to be the contrarian play of the day because Miami is what 1-4 their last 5 games. They've only won, I think, 2 of the last 7 times they played Toronto. 1-6 ATS those last 7 times, and we got the Heat plus 4.5 here today. The one thing I'll say is they've been a better offense the last 5 games. If you just look at numbers, better rebounding team. But it's hard for me to trust this team without Bam. So Bam, Highsmith, Hero, it's just a lot missing for this Miami Heat team. So I can't get there with my money, but at the same time, it's hard for me to lay with Toronto. I do think they're the better defense. They have that going for them and being at home. But something about this game, I just don't feel comfortable with laying the point spread with Toronto. So I'll lean with the contrarian guys for today.
All right, leaning with the Heat and the points. I mean, well, Ralph, what a difference playing where Miami, I mean, they had, back-to-back games against the Pacers offense. Now they're going to get a Raptors offense, which isn't nearly as potent. So what are you thinking in this matchup here? Are you leaning one way or the other?
I would have to lean with Toronto, Joe. I mean, you look at Miami. Yes, you said they played the Pacers and then they played Milwaukee. And then previously they were on the road against Brooklyn. But when you look at 4 games like they've had defensively, they've allowed 50%, 53%, 51%. And no, I am not drunk in misspeaking. They allowed 65.9% against Indiana last week, 56 of 85% shooting. And then you look on defense, they're not forcing any turnovers. Last 4 games, 11, 9, 9, and 9. With that type of defense and no defensive pressure, we're looking at Hero probably out 1 more week. Bam, maybe not today. He might be back the game after because everyone's off tomorrow as well. That's not playing in the knockouts. But let's see. Last week, the panel agreed going against the contrarian gods with the Detroit Pistons, and the LA Lakers took it to them. So I'm going to go with Skee and fade him again today.
Interesting. Although I do think Skee was on Miami there, but that's all right. I get your point there, Ralph. Vino, intriguing spot here because usually if we're worried about the Heat not playing any offense, then why is this total dropping here? Oh, yeah, and it doesn't seem like the line is going anywhere. It seems a bit frozen. So somebody must be thinking Miami's got a shot in this. What do you think?
Well, again, Joe, the ambulance chasers, right? Bam's out. Let's fade Miami. Let's play under. What do we expect? There's no other real reason for it. I'll tell you, they're all hard handicaps today, right? Because for the most part, every one of these teams has had 5 days off. That's a lot of time. 2020 hindsight when these results are in. Was rest good for you? Was rest bad for you? Whatever. But I'm going to go to Jimmy Butler again because he's the guy talking before this game starts. Here's what he says. We stand right where we don't want to be, which is very mediocre. Not good, not bad, not great, not any of those things. Just mediocre. You talk about our offense, it's been mediocre. You talk about our defense, it's been mediocre. That's the word I would use. And he used it about 6 times. So, when Jimmy's upset, Bam Adebayo or no Bam Adebayo, I have to lean toward Miami. Toronto hasn't been on a surge by any means. 1-3 against the spread last 4 games. Miami hasn't been great as a road dog. There's really no positive technicals to point to here. The Raptors play games, Joe, where they can't hit the ocean. So, I mean, you have that going for you on Miami as well. Disagreed with contrarians last week a couple of times, got away with it. I'll agree with them here. I'll take 4 points with Miami. Again, just based on listening to Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, well, it's usually been a spot here where they have shown up. But again, they gave up 132 and 144, but they did drop 132 and 129 without Adebayo. So it's going to be interesting north of the border here as the contrarian gods are going to take a look there at the Miami Heat. We have a featured matchup that we're going to take, and we haven't, kind of shocking, it feels like it's been forever since the Houston Rockets were discussed in any sort of featured matchup, but here we are, OKC taking on Houston tonight here, and I think is a battle of 2 of the obviously up-and-coming franchises here. I think 1.5, 2 is what we are seeing here. The Rockets are the home dog. 226.5 is what I'm seeing. Skee, it hasn't been a great stretch here for the Rockets over the last couple of weeks. What do we do with them here as a home dog? Anything tonight?
Well, I think I want to use the side of this game for another part of the show a little bit later. So I think I'll talk a little bit more about the total right now. But looking at both of these teams, my initial thought is to go to the under. About 2 weeks ago, maybe even 3 weeks ago, I just remember hearing these guys in interviews talking about the players for OKC, talking about how defense was going to be the way that they were going to win games. And we know how strong Houston's defense has looked to start this season. They're the best team defending the 3, even though OKC is the best team shooting it. And if you just look at last 5 game stats, both teams are top 10 defensive rated teams in that span. You look at the pace, Houston, bottom 10, and OKC, I feel like they can play either way. So if Houston is at home, I take it that they potentially can control the pace. And if they're playing at that slow pace with better defense, I would bet this one under the total. Houston has gone under 8 of their last 11 games. They're 7-2 to the under at home. I just think this one lines up to be one of the few unders, I think, on the card for tonight.
All right, look at that. Looks like we're looking at a under here tonight between these 2 teams. How about you, Ralph? We talked about this off air before the show. Some interesting numbers involving these 2 teams, especially the Rockets here. How are you leaning in this matchup?
Well, if you're looking at ATS numbers, you have the absolute best road team in the NBA, OKC, 7-1-1 ATS. You have the best home team in the NBA, Rockets, 7-1-1. And by the way, Skee likes the under. When the Rockets are at home, they're 2-7 over under. I had to go to look at the standings from a few years ago. We're talking about OKC and Houston as our featured matchup. 2 years ago, these teams were a combined 44-120. I don't know what the hell Robert, our producer, is doing now, rooting for the Rockets and the Texans. And oh my God, all of a sudden, Houston's turning into a sports town. But Joe, the number we talked about at home, the number we talked about off the air, when Houston is a home dog this year, they lost their first game against the Warriors. Since that time, they're undefeated as a home dog, and they've covered those games by 22 points per game. So you are talking about dominant fashion. And you might say, well, look at Houston. They're only 2-6 their last 8 games. But I look at that run of 2-6. You went to the Clippers, you were a 7.5-point dog. You played at the Lakers, you were a 5-point dog. You played at Golden State, you were an 8-point dog. And then the last 3 games, you were a 4-point dog at Dallas. Then you played Denver back-to-back nights on the road as an 8.5-point dog, failed to cover. And then you lose to the Lakers. So I can understand that 2-6 straight up run. The defense still, go back to November the 1st. They've only allowed 1 foe to shoot over 50%, and they've only allowed 2 foes to shoot. They've only allowed 1 foe to shoot over 27.5%. I am on Houston. I also like the under. They are playing legitimate defense. Robert, I'm on your Rockets tonight, buddy.
Woo, Rockets! Look at that. It's a home dog here tonight. It looks like Mdoka is having some say-so there in the quality of defense. They are certainly bringing an effort, because that's really, Rob, all defense is. It's effort here, and he's got these kids on Houston playing. So what do we do here tonight? Is it a total night for you in this game, or you leaning to a side one way or the other?
Well, first off, Joe, I think that's, what we expected Udoka to bring to Houston was that defensive capability, that defensive mindset. They were none of that the prior couple of years. So certainly there's been a transition here, but you just can't ignore what OKC has done either, right? I mean, 7-1-1 against the spread on the road, 4-1 as a road favorite with a plus 12.6 differential. They're beating people by 12.5 points as a road favorite. So certainly their numbers are as comparable. They might even stand up better than what Houston's do. I'm going to go back to another quote so we can maybe shorten this game up the first quarter, because Thunder forward Jalen Williams was asked about road success that they've had. And he said, it's probably our starts. It's something we've been trying to hold ourselves accountable for all season, whether it's home or away. Obviously, it's hard to have a bad start in an away game and be successful. That's something that we're consciously mindful of. So you've got a team that understands when you go on the road, you got to get off the quick starts. They're a half-point favorite in the first quarter. Some pick'ems out there first quarter. Just win it. I could see people shortening it up and going that way as well. But I do think Oklahoma City is going to be the right side here. There's just too much firepower. I get the defense and all of that with Houston, but I do think at this price tag, Oklahoma City, again, just too much firepower to be contained here. So I would try that side, but I think first quarter might be even better.
Oh, I like it. All right, a first quarter look there in that one. Now, before we get to a total of the night that we like, as well as who might be the dog of the evening and a couple of best bets, let me just tell you guys, today's a very special day at WagerTalk. It is $5 Customer Appreciation Day. Good through midnight here tonight. All packages, guys, $5 right now. Each of the handicappers page. You can visit Skee. You can visit Ralph. You can visit Rob Vino. Head over to their pages at WagerTalk.com and take advantage of $5 Customer Appreciation Day today only. So hop on board and head over there. They'll tell you what they got locked and loaded coming up here for tonight, but a great way for you to partner up with these guys here. All right. Let's focus on a total in a game here tonight. It is our overtime game, because simply there is no higher total on the board. And with Atlanta and Brooklyn heading down south, taking on the Hawks, it is 239.5. Now I'm seeing 244. So the market believes it's simply an over or pass in this one, Skee. How about you? Is it still an over or pass for you, or any value on the under in this one?
No, it's a one-way ticket. I mean, I think the market is reacting correctly. Both teams, for one, well rested in this game, and Atlanta just doesn't play a whole lot of defense. Last 5 games, I have them bottom 10 defensive rated team, but you just look at you look at how their games have been. Like their last 7 games, I think are averaging 260 points. So why should we be scared of 244 or mid 240s? I just don't think it's high enough. Both of these teams top 10 shooting the 3. I mean, they played right before Thanksgiving. They had 260 before overtime. I see no reason why they can't do it again here today. Atlanta's going to play up tempo. Brooklyn hasn't been playing up tempo lately, but I think they're capable of it, especially with becoming a little bit more healthy, getting some of those guys back. And they've been the second best offense in the league the last 5 games. So you look at Atlanta, they're 71 to the over at home. Brooklyn has went over 6 of their last 9 games one-way ticket for me, up and over.
Yeah, it feels like there might still be some value on the over. I do think Jalen Johnson, breaking his wrist there is going to be hurtful to Atlanta at some particular point. But I'm not expecting a ton of defense in this game here, Ralph. So is it just simply an over or a pass for you?
It is. The update on the crazy high totals this year, looking at this season, when totals are 240 or higher, they are 14, 7, and 1, 67% to the over. So they're high for a reason. And, when you get the high totals, there's sometimes the totals aren't even as high as they should be. If books are getting equal money on both sides, because some people think, I'm not going to pay over that crazy high total, maybe this total should actually be a few points more, but it doesn't have to be because it's so high. Oh, yeah, FYI, the largest NBA total in my database will be tomorrow, the Pacers and the Bucks, when it's 254.5 so far in that play-in game. Atlanta at home, I see no reason. Skee mentioned their numbers. Their home games this year have averaged 254.5 points per game. That is going over by 19.1 points per game over what the posted total is. You look at Atlanta's D, the last 3 games, 54%, 54%, and 60% over or pass for me.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I can't imagine sweating an under here tonight, Vino. It's got to be either team total overs, first half overs, full game overs. What are you looking at here in this one?
Yeah, I've got one end of this as the best bet for the show, Joe, but I'll talk about full game total here. And there's no other way actually to play it other than over, like Skee said. The 5 days off, if you want to make some kind of list of concerns, maybe that's your only concern here. Again, Skee mentioned that opening meeting. They had both had 131 at the end of regulation. That's 262. For Brooklyn, it's pretty clear cut when you go through their schedule results over like their last 12 games. When they have a team that doesn't defend well or that has pace, they get up and over these totals. I mean, with Orlando, they scored 129. With Charlotte, 128. With Atlanta, I just mentioned it wound up being 145. With Orlando, prior to that, it was 124. They've had a lot of teams in between that don't want to go whatsoever. And even against Miami twice, Brooklyn has found their way to 112 and 115. So against Atlanta, a team that's given up over 120 points in 10 of their last 15 games, it's hard to see either side slowing the other down. The injury list is good. That first game, by the way, just from a personnel standpoint, Cam Thomas didn't play for Brooklyn. What's that worth? Is that worth another 16 to 22 out of Cam Thomas, maybe more if he's on fire? So I would have to agree with up and over in that game.
Yeah, over it is here tonight with the Nets and the Hawks. Don't overthink it. Spots do have a number of very intriguing dogs that might be barking here tonight. So, Robert, let's see what our choices are here tonight for dogs.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, are the dogs barking here tonight? Wizards, Pistons, Spurs, Rockets, the Jazz, Portland, of course. How about the Nuggets as a short dog? The Hornets, the Heat we talked about, the Nets there, as well as the Orlando Magic. So very intriguing numbers and dogs on the board here tonight. Skee, is there one that's that might be barking tonight here for you?
Yeah. Looking at that graphic, I will go with the biggest dog on the board. We'll go with the Blazers plus 12.5, plus 550. And looking at this one, it looks really simple, right? Warriors versus Blazers. No Aiden, no Grant. No way the Blazers cover, right? I just don't think it's that easy. I think this is one of those games that the Warriors don't care about. We've heard Draymond in previous years, maybe either last year or the year before, he said that, you know, the hardest games for him to get up for are the ones versus the sorry teams. And he says it's easy to get up versus LeBron and Giannis. Those are the games he lives for. But games like this, I just don't seem I don't see them getting up for it, especially when you have OKC on deck. They've already beaten you twice. SGA is posting Instagram highlights versus Steph and rubbing it in. I just think that's the game that they care about a little bit more. This one, they just want to get a win and get out. You look at the Blazers, they've been the second best defensive team in the league the last 5 games. They've covered 4 of their last 5 games. So a lot of people out there who want to make a name for themselves, they're going to come to play. I think the Blazers are the right side in this game.
Yeah, Anthony Simons questionable, though. It does look like he might go. No Grant or DeAndre Ayton. However, Chris Paul and Wiggins listed as a go. Gary Payton is out, the latest for the Golden State Warriors there. Just when you thought it was a lock, people. Yeah, Golden State is anything but these days here. So how about you, Ralph? Is there a dog here on this card tonight that might be barking for you?
I'm going to back the Magic, and it's simply this. I mean, the Cavs are a bad home team. We're talking 4-8 as a favorite. Orlando's played great on the road. They just had their win streak snap. And I went to the database. This is no reason you're going to bet a team, but at least it puts it in perspective. When teams have won at least 7 straight games and then lose a game to snap a streak like Orlando did, Orlando was on that winning streak, they lost. Those teams have actually bounced back from 2012 on to hit 61.2%. So a very nice number. You do bounce back after the one loss. Now, I will say this. That system went 4-9 last year. So last year was a 1-year anomaly. It's 1-0 already this year. But I look at Orlando and I see the team. It shot 50% in 6 straight games, including shooting 60% against Washington. You look at the Cavs. The Cavs have not topped 50% but once in their last 8 games. And I'm not a huge NBA fan during the regular season. And a lot of times it pains me to watch games until it gets to the fourth quarter. But I do watch my hometown Cavs. And sometimes it's just as simple as this. Until you get your pieces and parts together, if you don't pass the eye test, you're not going to bet that team. And that's the reason I'm fading Cleveland today. Yes, they've had some wins that, they've won, I think, 6 of their last 9. But as a favorite, I am going to be fading the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yep. Oh, I don't think you're alone on that front, Ra. I mean, how many of you guys had Orlando where they're at right now? It's kind of crazy. You thought there might be a little bit of an improvement this year here, Vino, but my goodness, they are out of their minds right now here, all playing very well and staying healthy. But how about you? Is there a dog somewhere on this card that interests you here, Vino?
Well, first I could shout out our colleague Teddy Covers, who told me when we were in Las Vegas in August that Orlando was the team to watch. Now, I don't know that Teddy had them in the position that they're in now, but he certainly had them on his radar. Well, you know what to do, Joe. I mean, last week you weren't here and I went with big points and I got there. Oh. You're back, though, so I got to go little points. Let's go to the Nuggets, the shortest one on the board just for you, Joe. +1 against the Clippers. They've beaten this team twice already. They won by 9 just about a week ago, a little over a week ago, in L.A. without Jokic, without Murray. Injury report doesn't scare me. Murray's questionable. It looks like Gordon's probable. Prior to that, they won in Denver by 3, again, without Jamal Murray. So Jamal Murray hasn't faced them whatsoever. Jokic only once. For Denver, if you look at their road ATS record, you'd get scared off, 3-9. But then you look at their point differential on the road, and it's only 1 point. They score 109, they allow 110. They've only been a dog twice on the road this year, 1-1 in that instance. For the Clippers, really nothing's improved point spread rise, right? They're 3-11 against the spread their last 14. They're 1-4 at home against the spread last 5. So who wants them in a favorites role or even in any role against the points whatsoever? So I think you have to take the team that's showed up twice. Skee talked about motivated games, unmotivated games. Maybe Golden State should tell Draymond every game is an in-season, in-tournament game. I don't know. But it looks like Denver's motivated when they play the Clips. Beat them twice. Here they're getting 1.5 points. Even if they lose by, well, I guess we're getting 1 now. So we have to win the game, but I think they can. So give me the Nuggets plus the point over the Clippers. Obviously, that's a money line play. You need them to win straight up.
Just crazy that we are now. It's the Nuggets are a dog against the Clippers. Who'd have thunk it? All right, well there you go. We got some dogs. We got a total. We got a big big game preview, and now it is time for some best bets. And just a big shout out, by the way, to those of you joining us live here on the broadcast today here in the chat room. Big shout out, and you guys know what to do. Smash that like button here, and of course, if you're new, just hit that subscribe button, because if it's NBA content you like, college basketball, NFL, bowl games, NHL, we've got something for everyone here at WagerTalk TV. So go ahead and become part of the family. Hit that subscribe button and get ready for our best bets. And here's how it works. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. We give these guys the opportunity to do whatever the hell they want with it, as long as they drop a best bet in there. So, Skee, 60 seconds on the clock. Kick us off here, man. Where are you looking for a best bet here tonight?
I'll go back to that game that we were talking about with Houston and OKC, and I'll probably get as much time as I want to talk about this game. I'm going to go. We look at it. I mean, OKC has won 8 of their last 10 games, right? Rockets lost 3 in a row. Rockets have lost 6 of their last 8. And I just feel like it looks really easy to bet OKC tonight, and I just don't think it's that easy. Rockets, I feel like they're the hungrier team to get back on track. Ime, after being ejected, after calling his team out, saying that they were getting punked in that last game, I think that he has them ready to play today. Rockets' last 5 games, they've been the better defense. They've been the better rebounding team. If they can continue both of those things, there's no reason they can't stay in this game. And Ralph mentioned earlier, Rockets as a home dog, they've won and covered their last 5. They've won by an average, or they won by 22 points per game. So I think the Rockets are the right side in this game tonight. Take them plus the 2 points, sprinkle on the money line, however you want to do it.
Boom, getting them done here. Love it. Rockets it is. I'm shocked the buzzer even worked there. I'm going to be completely honest with you there, Skee. Let us throw 60 seconds back on the clock. Ralph Michaels, tell us, where is your best bet going here tonight?
Hey guys, I'm going to start it off with a little handicapping lesson. Joe, we talked before we came on air. Unique rest situations this year with the play-in tournaments. So I went to the database. Teams that have at least 3 days rest, with an opponent having at least 3 days rest, 53.3% to the over since 2013. So the offenses do tend to perform better than the defenses when you're rested. My best bet is Brooklyn. It's simple. Atlanta 1-8 ATS their last 9 plays. Brooklyn, fine ATS team. On the road with this total, they're 5-1. You look at the team in current form. Yes, their straight up records are almost identical, but I have one team on a positive momentum, one team on the negative momentum. I don't think Atlanta should be a favorite. Best bet on Brooklyn.
Ooh, 5-14 against it. I don't know why the market continues to overvalue the Hawks. It's kind of crazy here. All right, Brooklyn it is for Ralph. That means Rob Vino, you finishing us up here with a best bet. 60 seconds on the clock. Tell us, where you going here tonight?
Yeah, it's probably time for the old Michaels family and Rob Vino parlay again, because I talked about it earlier, but I like the Brooklyn team total over here, guys. It's 119.5. And I mentioned some of the numbers. You know, even when Brooklyn has played these slow down pace teams, like I said, Miami 115 and 112 they scored. They got 110 against Chicago, 118 against Chicago. And then big numbers against the teams that don't play any defense or have pace. Atlanta fits both of those bills. Play no defense, play with pace. Atlanta defensively matches up perfect because, again, they've given up 119 or more in 10 of their last 15. Looks like a track meet to me, like the way it was the first time. I thought this number 119.5 was a little bit shy. I could see the Nets getting to 123, 124 pretty easily, 131 in overtime the first time. So give me Nets team total over 119.5.
Oh, look at that. Expecting some points, and more points. And there you got it here, guys. Contrarian gods have spoken. We got best bets. We got some dogs for you. Keep an eye on that OKC Houston game tonight. Should be an awful lot of fun. And don't forget, you got that opportunity till midnight here tonight. Customer Appreciation Wednesday here at WagerTalk. That means $5. That's right, $5 customer appreciation daily packages available on Skee's page, Ralph's page, Rob's page. Pretty simple stuff, guys. Head over to WagerTalk.com and visit these guys and partner up with them here tonight for just $5. Gotta love that. All right. And don't forget, we'll be back again tomorrow. Another slate of games coming your way. And maybe, just maybe, well, we got a couple of, shall we say, semifinal games that we've got to get through with the in-season tournament. We all know, let's just pencil LeBron in because apparently the refs are still blowing whistles into phantom timeouts. You know who I'm talking about there, Skee. In the meantime, we wish you guys all the best of luck. Take advantage of the customer appreciation opportunity and make plans to join us again tomorrow here on the NBA Tip-Off Show. And if you want to go ahead, smash that like button and hit the subscribe button, we'd certainly appreciate it. And then click on the video on your screen right now, because if it's head-to-head content with games coming up this week you desire, it's exactly what we have for you. Get access to all of the video content across all the sports here. Just go ahead and click on that video on your screen now and come back and join us again tomorrow. Best of luck with your plays. We'll see you again.